The night I found out my husband was cheating, I didn't cry. Not one tear. I went into the bathroom, shut the door quietly, and stared at myself in the mirror. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, and my entire world felt like it had tilted sideways. But I didn't cry. Instead, I planned. I reached under the sink where I kept a little prank box I had bought months ago as a joke for my nephew's birthday, a tiny packet of itching powder I never used. I held it between my fingers and whispered to myself, "If he wants to play dirty, I'll play smarter." Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from, and if you believe in karma, hit like and subscribe, because this story will prove it. His name was Jacob, and for years I believed he was the gentlest man I'd ever met. My safe place. My partner. My forever. But forever lasted exactly 4 years before I found out he had an entire second life, a lover named Sabrina, a woman who texted him things he used to text me when we first fell in love. And the worst part? He didn't even try to hide it. That night, Jacob took a shower like nothing had happened, humming to himself while his phone, still unlocked, sat on the counter with screens full of "I miss you" and "Tonight" messages from her. I walked to the dresser where his clean clothes were folded, grabbed his favorite black boxer shorts, the soft, expensive ones he always wore when he went out with friends, and sprinkled the itching powder inside, rubbing it in gently so it wouldn't fall out. My hands were steady, calm, cold. Revenge wasn't loud. Revenge was quiet, calculated, and patient. 10 minutes later, he walked out of the bathroom wearing a towel and kissed me on the forehead like nothing was wrong. Like I wasn't dying inside. Like he wasn't walking out to see another woman. "I'll be home late," he said casually. "Don't wait up." I swallowed the fire building inside my chest. "Oh, I won't," I whispered. He put on the boxers. Then his jeans. Then the cologne I bought him last Christmas. And with the same smile he used the first time he took my breath away, he grabbed his keys and walked out the door. I didn't follow. I didn't spy. I didn't text him. I sat on the couch, wrapped a blanket around myself, and waited. Because karma was already on the way. It took exactly 3 hours. My phone buzzed at 11:42 p.m. Unknown number. I almost let it ring, but something inside me, curiosity, intuition, the woman's instinct that never lies, made me answer. "Hello?" I said. What came next wasn't a greeting. It was screaming. Loud, desperate, angry screaming. A woman's voice shouted into the phone. "What did you do to him?" My eyebrows shot up. "Excuse me?" "He's scratching like a maniac," she yelled. "He's tearing up my couch. Oh my God, I think he's bleeding." I blinked, then sat up straighter. A slow smile crept across my face. "Who is this?" I asked calmly. "Sabrina," she screamed. "I'm his girlfriend, and your husband is losing his mind." I almost laughed, almost. Instead, I said sweetly, "Oh, so you must be the Sabrina he's been cheating on me with." She gasped. "Listen, I don't have time for your emotional problems. You need to tell me what you put in his clothes." "Oh," I whispered. "Just a reminder." She paused. "A reminder of what?" "That actions," I said slowly, dramatically, "have consequences." Jacob's screams echoed in the background. "Make it stop, Sabrina, do something. Oh my God, it burns." Sabrina yelled into the phone. "What did you do?" I stayed quiet, letting the chaos on the other end fill the silence like music. Then she dropped the real bomb. "You need to come get him." I blinked. "Come get him? He's with you." She let out a string of curses, then shouted, "He is accusing me," he said. "I put something in his clothes and now he thinks I'm trying to poison him." I rolled my eyes. "Of course he does." "Please," she begged. "I can't deal with this. He's rolling on the carpet and screaming he's going to the ER." I took a slow breath, then whispered, "Not my problem." Sabrina gasped. "You're his wife." "And you're his choice," I replied calmly. "Tonight is your turn to take care of him." Her voice dropped, terrified. "Please, please just tell me how to stop it." I smiled. You can't. It has to run its course. Then I hung up. For the first time in months, I slept peacefully. But revenge, real revenge, doesn't end with screaming. The next morning, Jacob wasn't home. He wasn't answering calls. Not Sabrina's. Not mine. At noon, Sabrina finally sent me a shaky text. He's at the ER. He said he's coming home later. I don't know what he's going to do. I stared at the message. Because I knew something she didn't. Jacob wasn't coming home angry. Jacob was coming home with a confession. And a truth I wasn't prepared for. By noon the next day, my phone buzzed again. Not Sabrina. Not a number I recognized. Jacob. I stared at the screen for a long second. My stomach didn't twist. My heart didn't ache. I felt nothing. Except a cold, steady focus. I swiped to answer. Before I could speak, he growled. What did you do to me? His voice was hoarse, angry, and raw, like he'd been screaming all night. I warned you, I said calmly. Actions have consequences. You think this is funny? He snapped. I was at the ER for hours. They had to give me steroids and antihistamines. They thought I rolled in poison ivy. I smiled to myself. Wow, sounds like a rough night. You're insane, he hissed. No, I said. I'm creative. He exhaled sharply, like he didn't know whether to scream or collapse. Then his voice hardened. We need to talk. I'm coming home. I hung up. Not out of rudeness, but because I didn't owe him courtesy anymore. He stormed into the house 15 minutes later, wearing loose hospital pants and a wrinkled t-shirt, limping slightly like every move still burned. He glared at me like he was seeing me for the first time. What the hell is wrong with you? I crossed my arms. Funny. I was about to ask you the same thing. He slammed the door shut. I can't believe you do something like this. You cheated on me, I said sharply. Repeatedly. That doesn't give you the right to assault me. I raised an eyebrow. Assault? Jacob, it was itching powder. You'll live. He pressed a hand to his forehead. You humiliated me in front of Sabrina. I laughed. Actually laughed. Jacob, you humiliated yourself when you chose her. He flinched. But then something strange happened. He didn't yell again. He didn't defend Sabrina. He didn't apologize either. He walked to the couch, sat slowly, and buried his face in his hands. I watched him breathe, fast, angry, labored. Something was wrong. More than the itching. More than the cheating. Something deeper. Jacob, I said cautiously, why did you cheat on me? He didn't look up. I didn't cheat, he whispered. My chest squeezed. Don't lie. He lifted his head, eyes red, jaw clenched. I didn't cheat on you, he repeated, because I haven't been your husband for months. The room shifted. What does that mean? I demanded. He exhaled, shaking. Evelyn, Sabrina isn't just some woman, she's pregnant. Everything inside me froze. Pregnant. Pregnant. My ears rang. And the baby is mine, he whispered. I felt my heart physically crack. I stepped back, breath gone, words gone. Jacob continued, his voice shaking not from pain, but from guilt. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't plan it. It just happened. It just happened? I choked. Jacob, you built an entire relationship. No, he said quickly. It's not like that. Sabrina, she was supposed to be temporary. A mistake. I swear. I stared at him, stunned. He had called her a mistake while she was expecting his child. She's having your baby, I whispered. And you still came home to me? His silence was the answer. I swallowed hard. So you were going to leave me? He nodded slowly. I was trying to figure out how. A bitter laugh escaped me. By spending every night at her house? No, he said quietly. By saving enough. My eyebrows shot up. Saving enough for what? He hesitated. For the first time, he looked afraid. For the baby, he whispered. She needs help. A lot of help. My stomach twisted in disgust. So you were using me, I whispered. Using this house, this marriage, my income, my stability, so you could build a life with her. His silence confirmed everything. I felt something inside me snap, not loudly, like breaking glass, but softly, like a thread reaching its final stretch. Jacob, I said softly, you could have told me the truth. He shook his head. No, if I told you, you'd throw me out, and I needed time. I laughed again, but this time it hurt. You used me as a financial cushion, I whispered, while you built a secret family behind my back. He swallowed hard. He didn't deny it. But then he stood up, slow, wincing from the itching, but focused. Look, he said. I know I screwed up. Screwed up? I repeated, stunned. Jacob, you destroyed our marriage. He tried to reach for me. Evelyn, please. I stepped back. Don't touch me. He froze. And then the real truth spilled out, the one he was trying to hide. I need you, he whispered. I can't do this alone. Sabrina can't do this alone. We can't afford this alone. My breath caught. You want me to help raise your child with your mistress? He didn't speak. He didn't have to. His silence was the confession, the insanity, the calculation, the selfishness. He wanted Emmy to support the life he created with another woman. I shook my head slowly. You're unbelievable. He swallowed. Evelyn, just listen. No, I whispered. You listen. I walked to the drawer, pulled out a small envelope, and handed it to him. He frowned. What's this? Open it. He tore the flap. Inside were selfies of him and Sabrina, the ones she had sent me last night after he started accusing her of causing the itching. Photos of them laughing, kissing, holding hands. Sabrina showing early baby bump. Jacob kissing it. He stared at the photos, color draining from his face. How? He whispered. Sabrina, I said. She sent them when she panicked. He swallowed hard, panic growing. I leaned in slightly, my voice calm, surgical. Jacob, I'm not helping you build your new life. I'm not raising your child. I'm not saving you. His eyes filled with fear. Real fear. Evelyn, wait. No, I said softly. You don't get to ask me for anything. Not anymore. I grabbed my bag, my keys, my dignity. Pack your things, I said. For what? He whispered. For leaving. He shook his head desperately. I have nowhere to go. You have Sabrina, I snapped. Go live your new life. Go be the father you secretly planned to be. Go fix what you broke. Then I said the line that ended everything. Just don't ever come back here again. He opened his mouth to speak, but a loud knock at the door interrupted him. We both froze. Jacob frowned. Who? I walked to the door slowly, opened it, and my stomach dropped. Because standing there was Sabrina, eyes red, face swollen, lips trembling. And she whispered words that shattered the ground beneath both of us. Jacob, we need to talk. The baby? There's a problem. Sabrina stood at the door, clutching her stomach like she was holding herself together with shaking hands. Her mascara was smudged, her hair frizzy, her lips trembling. She wasn't the smug mistress Jacob had risked everything for. She looked terrified. Jacob rushed toward her. Sabrina, what happened? Are you okay? Is the baby? She stepped back. Don't touch me. He froze. I don't want you near me right now, she whispered. Between her and Jacob, the air felt like broken glass, sharp, painful, dangerous. I crossed my arms, watching them like a movie I never asked to star in. What's wrong? Jacob asked, voice cracking with fear. Sabrina swallowed hard and looked at me first, not him. Then she whispered, Evelyn, can I come inside? Jacob spun around. Why do you need to talk to her? She didn't answer him. She walked right past him into my living room, hugging herself, crying silently. Jacob followed, frantic. Sabrina, talk to me. What's going on? Is the baby? And then she said the line that stopped every breath in the room. There is no baby. Jacob's voice died mid-sentence. He stood there stunned. What? He whispered. Sabrina wiped her nose. There is no baby, Jacob. He blinked, confused. What are you talking about? You told me, you showed me the test, you said. It wasn't mine, she whispered. It wasn't even recent. My jaw dropped. Jacob's face turned white. You lied? You lied about being pregnant? Sabrina covered her face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to do. What do you mean you didn't know? Jacob shouted. You ruined my marriage. You ruined your marriage, she snapped through tears. I didn't sleep with your wife. You did. Jacob looked like someone had slapped him. But Sabrina wasn't finished. I thought if you believed I was pregnant, she cried, you would leave her. For me. Jacob staggered back, shaking his head. You tricked me. No, she said quietly. I loved you. I thought you loved me too. He let out a bitter laugh. I loved you? Sabrina? I loved the idea of you. I loved the fun, the escape. I didn't love you. The words sliced the air in half. She stared at him with a heartbreak I wouldn't wish on anyone. But then her face changed, hardened. Like a truth she had been holding back finally clawed its way out. She turned to me. Evelyn, I owe you the truth. I raised an eyebrow. About what? She took a deep breath. Jacob didn't cheat with just me. The world froze. What? I whispered. Jacob stiffened. Sabrina, stop. She ignored him. He cheated with me, and with another woman, and he used the same story on both of us. My chest tightened painfully. Another woman? Another affair? Jacob's voice turned desperate. Sabrina, please. Sabrina didn't look at him. She looked straight at me, eyes full of guilt. He told her he was divorcing you. He told me you were toxic. He told both of us he was starting over. My stomach twisted. Heat rushed to my head. Jacob tried to grab her arm, but she shook him off violently. You said you couldn't leave Evelyn yet, she spat. But in the same breath, you promised her that once things settled, you would marry her. I froze. Marry? He promised marriage to someone else? Jacob groaned, pressing his hands to his temples. Sabrina, please stop. She screamed. No, I won't stop. She deserves the truth. Tears streamed down her face. I found out about her 2 weeks ago, she whispered to me. At first I thought she was lying, but then she sent me messages, receipts, photos of you and Jacob. Receipts? Wait, I whispered. She had photos of us? Sabrina nodded. Yes, she had old pictures, your wedding, your trips, everything. She was tracking him, watching him, waiting for him to leave you. My stomach dropped. And then, Sabrina continued, she sent me a voice note. I swallowed hard. A voice note of what? I whispered. Sabrina's face twisted in pain. Of Jacob telling her he loved her. I felt everything inside me cave. Jacob started pacing. It wasn't like that. You don't understand. I was confused. Confused? Sabrina yelled. You told me you loved me, and then you told her the same thing, and all while going home to your wife. Jacob turned to me, panic rising in his face. Evelyn, I swear. Don't, I whispered. Don't say my name. My voice didn't sound like mine. It sounded like someone who had finally understood the depth of betrayal. And then Sabrina delivered the final blow. And last night, she whispered, voice shaking, before he screamed from the itching powder. He told me he wanted both of us. I covered my mouth. Jacob stepped back like he'd been punched. Sabrina? No, she said firmly, wiping her tears. I'm done lying for you. I'm done being manipulated. She turned to me again. Evelyn, there's one more thing. I braced myself. Her voice softened, almost breaking. I didn't just lie about being pregnant. She swallowed. I lied because Jacob told me something that terrified me. What did he tell you? I whispered. She closed her eyes. He told me he would rather die than lose both of us. I froze. Jacob grabbed her arm. Why would you repeat that? She yanked away. Because it didn't sound like a metaphor, she whispered. Silence fell. Heavy. Dangerous. Charged. I looked at Jacob. His jaw clenched. His eyes darted. His breathing sped up. Not guilt. Not shame. Something darker. Panic. Sabrina whispered. He said he couldn't live without us, that if we ever left him, he'd make sure none of us could leave. A chill slithered down my spine. Jacob slammed his fist into the wall. Enough! We both jumped. He turned to me, slowly, and whispered in a voice I barely recognized. Evelyn, don't leave me. His voice wasn't pleading. It was warning. Threatening. Possessive. Sabrina stepped back, terrified. I stepped back too. Jacob stepped forward. Evelyn, he whispered, you're the only thing keeping me stable. My breath shook violently. Jacob, I whispered, stay away from me. I can't, he said. You're my wife. No, I whispered. I'm your escape. His eyes narrowed. You're not leaving. And in that moment, Sabrina grabbed my wrist and whispered, run. Because Jacob wasn't thinking like a man who made mistakes. He was thinking like a man with nothing left to lose. Sabrina's fingers dug into my wrist as she whispered one word that sliced straight through my spine. Run. Jacob's eyes were wild, red, frantic, desperate, the look of a man who had lost control of the lies that once made him powerful. He stepped toward us, breath shaking. You're not leaving, he whispered. Either of you. Sabrina trembled beside me. Jacob, please, don't do this. He shook his head slowly, jaw clenched tight. I lost everything last night. My pride, my dignity, my future. I'm not losing both of you too. His voice wasn't loud. It was worse. Quiet. Controlled. Like he was moments away from breaking completely. I swallowed hard. Jacob, I whispered, you need help. He laughed softly, the sound of a man unraveling. You think I need help? I needed you. I needed someone to love me, not leave me, not hurt me, not betray me. You betrayed me, I snapped. No, he said sharply. I made mistakes, but I can fix them if you both just stop. He ran his hands through his hair, pacing like a cornered animal. Sabrina whispered, Jacob, we're scared. He stopped walking. His head turned slowly toward her. Scared? He repeated. Of me? Sabrina nodded, tiny, terrified. Jacob stared at her like he couldn't process the meaning of fear. Then he whispered, I would never hurt you. Sabrina swallowed. Jacob, you already did. His face twisted, guilt, denial, rage, heartbreak, clashing all at once. You lied about a baby, he snapped. She nodded. I did, and I'm sorry, but you lied about everything. Jacob stepped toward her. I pulled her behind me. Jacob, stay where you are, I said. His eyes flicked to me, and something dangerous shifted behind them. You think you can protect her? He whispered. You think you can protect yourself? I took a step back. I don't think, Jacob. I know. He looked around, breathing hard. This is my house, he hissed. My marriage, my life, and you're not walking out of here until we fix this. There's nothing to fix, I whispered. His lips trembled. There is, he insisted, because I love you, Evelyn. I always loved you. Then why Sabrina? I demanded. Because she was easy, he said, the truth raw and ugly. You were stable, strong, everything I wasn't, and she made me feel like a man again. Sabrina's face shattered. You used me, she whispered. Jacob didn't deny it. I needed both of you, he said. You don't get to need us anymore, I snapped. He shook his head. You can't leave, either of you. If you walk out, he froze. A knock at the door thundered through the living room. All three of us jolted. Jacob's eyes darted toward the entryway. Who is that? He whispered. Sabrina shook her head violently. I didn't call anyone. I stepped back, heart racing. The knock came again. Firm. Heavy. Authoritative. Jacob stiffened, fear flickering across his face for the first time. He whispered, "Don't open it." But I was already walking. Jacob lunged toward me. "Evelyn." Too late. I yanked the door open. Standing outside were two uniformed police officers, and behind them, Detective Harris. Jacob froze in place. Harris looked at me first. "Are you okay?" I nodded, voice shaking. "Yes." Sabrina let out a broken sob of relief. Jacob's breath stuttered. "Evelyn, what did you—" Harris held up a document. "An arrest warrant. For Jacob Avery," Harris said. "Jacob's real last name. The one he used before he married me. Before he built his double life. For fraud, emotional coercion, financial deception, and pending investigation related to domestic manipulation." Jacob's jaw dropped. "What? No, you can't." The officers stepped inside. Jacob stumbled backwards. "You can't arrest me. I didn't do anything." "You did enough," Sabrina whispered. "You did too much," I added. Jacob's eyes darted desperately between us. "Evelyn, please," he begged. "Help me. Don't do this. You know me. You know I didn't mean to." I raised my hand, stopping him cold. "No," I whispered. "I don't know you. I knew the version you performed for me. But the real Jacob, the liar, the manipulator, the man who juggled women to fill the holes in his ego?" I shook my head. "That's not a man I'm saving." The officers stepped behind him. Jacob backed away until he hit the wall. "Evelyn." His voice cracked. "You broke me," I whispered. "You don't get to break me again." The officers cuffed him. Sabrina hid her face in her hands. Jacob's voice broke as they led him away. "Evelyn, please." I shut the door. Slowly. Calmly. Finally. Silence swallowed the room. Sabrina sank onto the couch, sobbing softly. I stood for a moment, letting the weight lift from my shoulders, years of betrayal, confusion, manipulation, dissolving one breath at a time. Detective Harris spoke quietly. "He's gone, and you're free." I nodded, tears stinging my eyes. "Thank you," I whispered. Sabrina stood up, wiping her face. "I'm sorry," she whispered to me, "for everything." I hugged her. Surprisingly, naturally, "It wasn't your fault," I whispered. "We were both victims of the same man." She cried harder. We pulled apart. Sabrina left quietly. Detective Harris left too. And I stood alone in the house Jacob once filled with lies. I walked into the kitchen, opened a drawer, took out the small, empty itching powder packet, held it between my fingers, and for the first time since the night it all began, I smiled. That tiny packet didn't just itch Jacob's skin. It exposed everything. It saved me. It freed me. And as I stood there in the quiet, I whispered to myself, "He screamed all night, but I'll never cry over him again."